Hey everyone, just testing out sound real quick. Hey everyone, just testing out sound real quick. One more real quick test. Test. All right, so this is Stationeers. It's by Rocketworks. Probably most known for Dean Hall, and the development of DayZ. But I think this is going to be one of my new favorite games. I think it was really cool. I think this was one of my most exciting things about early access games is that it gives companies or developers the chance to make games that are um, not exactly normal. I guess this game's really hardcore um, with super in-depth systems and things like that that I don't think a lot of developers are able to take the chance on. So I think that's one of the great things about early access. Um, I for my first, I've played this a little bit, but for my first stream of it, I'm just going to be playing solo to just give a general gameplay sense for the first video, and then for the next streams, maybe I'll get a few people playing along with me. So we're just going to go ahead and start a new world. Um, and we are going to launch a moon base. So again, this game is all about systems. So if you take a look at the top right corner, you can see how you have your internal and external information, ranging from the atmosphere pressure, temperature, um, and also speed. And then on your left hand side, it's basically the things that you have on or carrying, and then down at the bottom are your hands and what you're holding on to. So if you select like your helmet or your suit, you can see all the different things you're holding on to as well. So like in the bottom part for the belt, you can see that my tool belt has these tools, and then I can move them into my hand and move them out, and I can scroll through the different tools um, and do that. And I can also swap which hand I'm talking about and do something like this, so that I'm switching between which hand's holding what item. And another cool thing is, so once you're holding an item, like this is the welder or torch, and you can go into the details of it, and you can see that it has a like a propane tank or some sort of gas tank, and you can see how much fuel it has in it, and you can also turn it on, and you can see that the flame turns on there. So, and that's what the whole game's about, is basically one of the things that the developers wanted to do is to make sure that you stay inside the game. There's no like inventory or anything like that, like a pop-up window that causes you to, like, I don't know, be pulled out of the immersion of the game, which I think is really cool. It does take some time to kind of get used to um, the way the inventory works on the side, and how to swap items back and forth. Like, it does take some time, but I think it's a pretty neat system, and we'll take a look at some other things that we've got going on. So for the initial scenario that is available for the first, I think they've done a couple updates, but I mean, this is basically the first available version of the game. The main scenario is just to get something up and running, some sort of base that will allow you to charge batteries and give you oxygen. One of the things in your suit, you can see this third option, or third item in your suit, is a battery, and this is running, I believe, your AC in your suit. And so if you run out of battery, of course, issues ensue. So you need to work quickly to make sure that you are able to charge batteries, but also you can see that there's an air tank in your suit. So if you don't have a way to refill that up, or at least have a base that's producing oxygen that you can just hang out in without your suit, again, you're going to be in some trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and start seeing what I can do here to get a little base going. So we're going to move some of these tools back into my tool belt. I actually want to get these iron frames. And what I have been doing early in this game is just trying to get a little bit of electricity going. So setting up some solar panels and a battery charger so that I can charge the batteries for my suit, and then also my tools, because you have a digging tool that will allow you to dig up resources and things, and you also have like a tablet type device that uses batteries. So if once those batteries run out, again, they don't work. So once you place down these frames, actually I want to go ahead and put up a kind of like a wall as well. All right, so we're going to just leave it at that for now. And so once you put up the frames, as you can see, you can walk through them. They're just empty boxes, so they are not very useful in their current state. So what you have to do is actually get the iron sheets and then use it in conjunction with your welder. And we're going to go back into the menu of the welder and turn it on, and then you can weld the sheets into the frames so that you can actually walk on them. And this will also not only allow you to walk on the frames, but it'll seal it so that when you're pressurizing your base and actually have oxygen being produced, so you can take off your suit, this will allow you to pressurize your base. All right, so we've almost got that going. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off this torch. this duct tape in my uniform. Now the duct tape, if you've seen like The Martian, where his suit gets, or his helmet gets cracked, and he uses the duct tape to patch it up. That's kind of the thought behind the duct tape, I think. So if you fall down like a hole or something like, like this here, and ruin your suit, or I think maybe even just crashing into things while you're on using your jetpack can rip your suit. So duct tape is used to patch your suit up. So right now I have the solar panel in my hand, and we're going to go ahead and, oh man, I'm using a different machine here, so I got to remember which button it is to rotate. So you can see that there's that little plus at the bottom, and that's showing you where you'll actually be hooking the wires up. So I rotate it to the back, and so that's where, when we get to wiring, we'll be running the wires. I also want to go ahead, we should have a generator, a solid fuel generator. We're going to put this back here as well. And I know there's probably better ways to do this, but again, I just want to show off some of the basics. So on this one, you can see that there's a Y, and then on the back there's the lightning bolt symbol. So the lightning bolt symbol obviously is where the power output or input is for specific devices, and then I believe the Y is for, it's not really a Y, it looks like a Y, but it's like the LAN symbol, and it's for when you're wanting to like set your device up with computers and stuff, so you can run some sort of automated process with computers. So you can set something like saying turn on the generator if my batteries run low, but once they're full, turn the generator off so I'm not wasting fuel. So cool things like that can be done. So now that we have both of these set up, we're going to go ahead and wire it up at least into the base, and then we will get the other things set up that we actually want to get powered. And so some items like the cable allow you to use the scroll wheel to change the specific type. So right now it's on a corner, and I'm just using the scroll wheel to change it from corner to a straight piece. Let's see here, we want that. And then we're probably going to want a junction. I might have to move this wire up. So in order to pull up wires, we need to get out our tool belt, and we want to put in the wire cutters, I believe these are, and that'll allow us to pull up the wires. And then we'll go back to build mode. There we go. And then we need to decide how we're going to get the power into the base. So I have been running it over the top of the blocks, because eventually I'm going to put maybe another wall here, and then put the some sort of door on this block coming into the base. So I don't know, maybe for now I can just run it around the corner. Okay, so that's good. We'll put this back into our tool belt. And now we want to take a look at building or setting up our battery stuff. Let's see, where are you? Here's a battery charger. Console. And also, where is the power controller? So we want the power controller as well. So we're going to go ahead and take the batteries, or the battery charger, and we will put this here. And then we will get the power controller. And how do we want to do this? I don't know. I think maybe just for now we'll put it on this wall until we need to move it, because we can always take it apart. And then we're going to toss this other one back into the box. So what we're going to do is pull out our crowbar, and we're going to open up this power control. And basically what this allows you to do is separate your power, but also you can put a battery in here. And if for some reason you're not getting any power from your solid fuel or your solar panel, you can run your base off of this little battery early on. I mean, it won't obviously let you run an entire base for very long, but early on it's useful for that. So we need to fix our power cable real quick to run up into this. Okay, so now we have power running into the and then when I was placing it, I don't know if you saw, but there's 2 ports in this as well. Again, you have the data port, and then you also have your power port. You can separate the wiring for that. So if you want to run everything off of the same, generator, but then want to separate the data going to them, you can do that. But a lot of times what I've seen is just doing something like this and just connecting it all together. Oops. So you see there, this is going into the data port, and then that's going into the power. All right, we're going to need our wire cutters again. All right, so now we have our battery charger set up, and then we need to go ahead and switch that on, and we will switch this on. Now, of course, we're not going to get any power yet because we don't have any fuel in this, and it's also not turned on, which we can do. But we haven't finished our solar panel. So right now, this is just the base. You actually need to get glass sheets to finish the construction of the solar panel. So now we can start generating power, but of course you need to be facing the sun with the solar panel. So we're going to go back to our tool belt, and we are going to swap this out for a wrench. And so you can see that based on where you're pointing on the solar panel, you can change some settings. So you can rotate it and you can tilt it up or down. So we want to tilt down or up, and then we want to rotate it because the sun's over this way. So before we were getting 0, and now look at that, we're generating over 200 watts. So quickly we want to run back over here, toss these glass in there, take this battery, and now we can toss it into the APC. And you can see now that it's blinking, we're actually getting this. This is actually charging. And then, so again, if we run out of power, we'll run off of this little battery for a little bit. And then I just want to show real quick. So if we have our tablet, oops, and we put this tool away. So again, just like the torch, you can go into the settings of it, and you can put it, well, first of all, you can turn it on and off, but you also can add a cartridge to it or a battery. What I'm going to do is take out the battery, put it in my hand, and then you can see you can put the battery in the charger like this. And charge up the battery, and then once it's charged, you just pick it up again and put it back into the tablet, and now you can run the tablet. So we're going to go ahead. Actually, I have the cartridges here already in my backpack. Oh, that was weird. Where did I get those from? There we are. And so we're going to go back into the tablet menu. There we go. So basically, each one of these cartridges does something different. You can set up a cartridge for looking at like your power, looking at pipes, looking like medical stuff. The one that I put in now is a tracker for other players. So you can see this is me here. But if you had other people playing in your server, you can use your mouse button to locate them. And that way, if you were, it's really useful for when the person that's mining, because I mean you're walking out away from your base, and then all of a sudden you're like, where am I? So putting a tracker on somebody that's still at the base is super useful. And also, what's really nice is the devices like this and your torch and all that stuff. They're all interactable from the ground. So if you toss it on the floor, so we'll take another look at the welder. So if I drop this, we can turn it on and we can turn it off. Not only that, but we can also interact with the tank and take it out. So if you run out of gas or whatever and fill it back up, then you pick it back up and then toss it right back into the welder again. So I think that's pretty cool, that you can interact with items while they're on the ground. or hanging up in a cabinet or something. All right, so what's next? So another big aspect of the game is of course mining. So another thing that we have in our backpack is our mining tool belt. So we're going to toss that in our hand, and we're actually going to swap it for our tool belt. So now I have my tool belt in my hand and the actual mining belt on me. We're just going to toss the tool belt down for a second. We're going to open up our mining tool belt, and you can see I have this, I don't even know what's called, the digger device. And we're going to pull that up. We're going to go into the options of it and turn it on. And we can see here we got some iron. And what's nice is that if you have the actual mining tool belt on your actual person, when you dig, the ore automatically goes into that belt. So you can see down in the bottom how it's filling up the slots. And so we've got some copper, we've got some iron, this is some silicon. We're going to get some more iron here to show off the auto lathe. Alright, so another device we have is the auto lathe. We're going to go ahead and set that up real quick. Let's see, where do we want to put it? I should have made the base a little bit bigger. And just like everything else, we need to hook it up to power. We'll pick this back up and swap it. We'll drop that for now. So now we have our tool belt back. Where did I... Oh, I think I put my wires over here. And I'm still getting used to this rotating feature. There we go. Alright, so now we've got power to that, and we can turn it on. And so basically what this is like a fabricator. And so you have your arrows here that switch through the different things you can build. And then if you hover over this, the green button in the center, which actually starts the fabrication, you can see what it takes to build that specific thing. So for example, the iron wall. So if we hover over this, it'll say you need 1 gram. I'm sure it's more than that, but 1 G of iron. So in order to do that, we use the minerals or the ore we found, but we actually need to smelt it first. So we need the arc furnace, and I actually need these still, so let's bring that along. And bit simple here. Put the wire close by. There we go. And we'll turn this on. And so you'll see that both of these devices have these little chutes. Same thing with the generator. And so that's where you toss the materials. So if I had coal, I could toss it in the generator. And let's see, do I have any space anywhere? Toss our wires in the backpack because we want to open up our mining tool belt, and we want to get out our ore, and then we can toss the iron ore into the arc furnace, and that'll start running. And if you hover over the activate button, you can actually see, so this is that 34, 33. It's actually showing you how much is left to smelt. And so once that's done, it'll shoot out this door here. So shouldn't take too long. We're already down to 19. Oh, and okay, so I just noticed in the corner over there under my suit stats, you can see that little lightning bolt symbol. So that means that my suit power is running low, and you can see right here that the my life support battery is low. There is another stage under there. Under low, it's very low. So we will be okay for a second. But right now, the only battery that I have, unless I take it out of like that drill or the tablet, which are small batteries. This is a large battery. This is the only one that I have, and it's running my base because nothing else has power, because I have no fuel for this, and we are not getting anything because it's nighttime. We're not getting anything from the solar panel. So we'll wait. Hopefully we can make it to daylight before we have to swap that. And okay, we got the iron ingot, so you can see that that was produced. And again, so right now it's saying we need just 1 G, and we have 43. So we'll toss that in there. And if we hit go, but I don't want to build the iron walls. I want to build. Oh, we'll go ahead and build a locker. So this one needs 10 G. So we'll hit go, and you'll see that it starts running. And there's a percentage showing how far along the build is. And once it's done, it'll shoot out that door. And as long as there's more material to build another one, it'll automatically start building the next set until it runs out of materials. So for example, if I wanted some more iron sheets, no, we'll go iron frames. So if I wanted some more iron frames, I can turn this on and see it's just going to keep running and just stack them up. Now these are single quantities, so you know, they'll start making a mess in a moment, but I don't have too much iron in there, so I'm not too worried about it. So just before that, we built this locker, and this can be used to store ore and tools and basically everything. So for example, if we were tired of holding on to our mining belt, we can just toss that in there. And we'll go back here. Let's see, is this still running? No. So that ran out of iron, so we'll go ahead and pick all these up. And then we can also toss those in there. And we can move everything from here into that cabinet. So some other things that we have to start off with is spray cans, a labeler, tracking beacon. The tracking beacon is new. It wasn't. It's part of the update. So I've not actually used it, but I believe it's meant to be used with that tablet. So if you are playing by yourself and you don't have another person to actually track to find your way back to your base, you can set this down, turn it on like I just did, and then where did I toss that? I don't know. I probably lost it forever. But anyway, so if I had that tablet still, oh, there it is. I wonder if I ran out of battery with it. Nope. Okay, so turn it on, and then we can switch it to tracking beacon. So if I got far away from the base, in order for me to not get lost, I could use that tracking beacon to find my way back to my base. The only problem is again, both this and this device here have batteries. So if they run out of battery, then you're out of luck. You'll have to turn on your jetpack and float in the air. So J turns on your jetpack, and you can fly around. And that's what I had been doing initially, is flying up in the air and getting a view, because you can usually see some sort of speck of light or something, and use that to find your way back to your base. So let's see. Are we getting any energy here? Not yet. I probably need to go find some coal. We're going to go ahead and turn off our jetpack so we don't waste all our fuel. And I'm going to turn off all these devices so they don't suck up our power. That way this battery can charge, because again, my suit, let's see, what is it at? It's still at low. And let's see, we're going to take back our belt for mining, and oops. Alright, so we got that. I'm going to turn this back on, though I don't have my tablet. I should probably bring that with me, just in case. Alright. So let's go see if we can find some coal. What is this? Some iron. Iron is always good. Useful for a lot of different things to build. There's actually a lot of different ore types in this game. There's iron and silicon and coal and silver, and there's like these oxide, and there's ice, and there's volatile things, and actually, from what I've seen in like other streams, hey, here's some coal, is that you can actually smelt stuff together to make new materials. Like, for example, there was steel sheets is one of the things you could craft. So I believe you have to mix ore in order to make an alloy, or however you want to. I'm no metal expert, but that's basically my understanding. So let's see here. We didn't get lost. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and toss this on the ground. Probably should turn it off so we don't waste our battery. And one thing that I would like them to add is instead of it just saying ore, it should update to what it actually is in this screen, because it's kind of hard to tell which one's which. I mean they are colored, but like sometimes the coal, if you're like if it's dark, sometimes the coal looks like the iron. But we'll go ahead and toss some coal in there. And so that should be charging up our battery. We also have the sun back out, so we're getting solar panel power. Let's see, what's our suit at? So see, we're getting close to having no power in our suit. So we need to quickly get that taken care of. I want to let this charge. So it goes from red to yellow to green to blue, I believe. Blue is the max charge. So we'll at least let it get to green. Maybe we'll even let it get to blue before we swap it out. I'll put my life support battery in here and then take this one out and put it back into my life support. I'll go ahead and turn off this beacon. So this thing opens back up once it burns up all the coal that you put in. So that's already used up all that coal. I think we didn't have very much. I think it was only like 4 pieces, but still, we need. That's where having multiple people is useful. So I mean, eventually, I'm gonna need oxygen and all that stuff, and doing it on my own is definitely difficult. Come on, battery. Alright, let's see what else we got in our starting crates. So spray cans, these can be used to, they did a really good job with the spray cans. You can basically spray paint anything. And so one of the things you can do with your wires is, again, if you wanted to separate your data from your power, you can spray paint all your data yellow, so that you know which one's which. Or if you wanted to have 2 different networks, like have your critical systems on the red power line that will always have electricity, and then maybe something that's not so critical on like a blue line, that if you are starting to run low on power, they might not need. You could do something like that. So there's lots of different options in that. And then I think there's other devices like this and this. Can I paint these? Yeah, I can even paint these. So there's a lot of different things you can do with the paint. I mean, you can paint the guns in the game. You can paint the tools. So it's pretty cool. The labeler basically changes the name of the device. Let's see, I have not used it before, so I'm not exactly sure how you. Oh, I don't. Though I don't have. It said it wasn't turned on, but I don't have a turn on option. That's weird. Let's try dropping it and see if there's a button. Or was it saying that the battery thing wasn't turned on? I don't know. I've not used the labeler before. But what it's used for is, so if you again, going back to the data example, if you were wanting to turn on the generator when this battery was running low. Oh, let's do this real quick. Okay, we got full charge. There we go. Okay, so if you wanted to set up so the generator would turn on when your battery was running low or something like that, you can rename it, say, and call it like, front base battery charger or whatever. So if you had, two battery chargers set up, you'd know which one was which instead of them just saying battery charger 1 and battery charger 2. You could name them specific and give them detailed names so that when you're setting up your network on your consoles and stuff, you know which one's which. So I think that's all of that box. What else do we have in here? We have got another power controller, which we've already used. Walls. There is food in the game. There's growing, like hydroponics, where you can grow wheat and corn, I think. You can also make things like muffins later on in the game when you have other devices. I don't think that food and wellness is in the game yet, so I'm not sure why they give you a crate of food. Maybe it's just so that you have the option to start growing stuff, but it's not necessary yet, as far as I know, to keep your person alive. In here, we've got a little bit more advanced things. We've got an airlock, which is not needed when I don't have a roof. And we've got some sensors and some vents. And these things are all used when you're wanting to set up, pressure in your base. So, for example, if we wanted to put in an airlock, I was planning on doing it here, though that thing is in the way. Let's move that real quick. There we go. And so you also need data and power to run these. If you don't have the airlock powered, you actually have to crowbar into it. And I don't have my tool belt. Let's see. There we go. And so that's how you open it. If you don't have any powers, you have to crowbar it open and close, which is fine because since we aren't pressurized, we can just leave it open, or we could just walk around it. Let's see what else we got. Consoles, again, this is to set up a lot of different things. Basically the reason why these are given early on is so that you can set up an actual airlock system, so that when you open the door, you can step inside, have it pressurize, and then have another airlock door here, or maybe you need more space, but basically make it so that you're not venting all the gas out of your base into space each time you open up your doors. That's basically, and it's most of the basics. There's so much more to the game. Again, setting up all of your like oxygen flow and all your gases, and you have other devices that you need to set up, like this electronics printer, where you can build circuit boards and other computer devices and more consoles. There's also the pipe bender, which I've not built yet, but I assume that's the device that builds more pipes for you. There's the fabricator, and each one of these things requires other ore types. So building the pipe bender, we need iron, gold, and copper. So in order for us to build that, we're gonna have to go out and go find all that stuff. So Um, there's lots to do, and and it kind of gives you that like tier style of leveling up, as you can't build everything right away. You need to first build the the auto lathe, and then go to the electronics printer, and then go um, to the fabricator, and just go step by step. It's kind of like a way to spread out the game, I guess. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show off the basics of the game. I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream now. I think next time we will maybe start the game with a base that's already a little bit built up, and we'll show off kind of what we've done and the direction we're heading. And I'll probably have one or two people join me, and that way, you know, I'm not having to do everything on my own, and each task is not going to take me, an hour to do, because I've got to go get ore on my own and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a great game. There's so much more that they've talked about adding. This is just the moon scenario, but there's also where you can start off in space and build like a craft that you can fly around in, and instead of getting ore from a planet, you're getting ore from asteroids, and flying around to find new asteroids to mine, and all that. And I think eventually you're going to be able to transition between a planet like this and space, so that should be really, really cool. But again, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now, and we'll continue taking a look at this game, because I think this is going to be one that I'm going to be playing for a while. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.